Madam President, I don't want to make this a bouquet tossing contest, but the fact is the 4 senators on the floor have together put in decades and decades and decades prosecuting the cause of clean energy. And the fact of the matter is, we had tried a lot of things over the years. We tried cap and trade. I was a strong supporter of Senator Markey's efforts. We tried carbon taxes. We tried border adjustment. And particularly, 3 of the 4 members over here from the Finance Committee, they were willing to take the risk of saying we ought to basically, if not throw the tax code in the garbage can as it relates to energy, get pretty darn close in terms of creating a whole new set of incentives. So I'm going to speak about Martin O'Malley's candidacy here for a few minutes, but I just wanted to say to these 4, we would not have even gotten a major climate bill out of the Senate Finance Committee to break 50 years of gridlock. That's what the New York Times described it. 50 years of trying. And the Finance Committee broke that gridlock. Wouldn't happen without these 4 senators, and I want them to know that. Madam President, in a few minutes, the Senate is going to vote on the nomination of Martin O'Malley to be the Commissioner of the Social Security Administration. As the chair of the Senate Finance Committee, I led with several of my colleagues here the review of Martin O'Malley's candidacy for this position. I want to recommend him to the United States Senate in the strongest possible way. Now, Americans may see the title of Social Security Commissioner and ask, what in the world does that person do? I worked hard, that typical working class person will say, to earn my Social Security. Now I'm looking forward to getting it. So what's new? Well, the job of the Social Security Commissioner is pretty important because the job is to do right by the more than 60 million Americans who count on Social Security every month. And Madam President, those 60 million Americans who are counting on those benefits have within their group millions who are walking an economic tightrope every month. They balance the food bill against the fuel bill, and the fuel bill against the rent bill. The average amount for Social Security retirement is $1,847. And often in our house, we would say, you know, who's counting? I'm telling you, those folks I just described are, because $1,847 is less than the median monthly rent nationwide. So what this means, Madam President, is no matter who you are, what job you did for a living, you earn benefits. And you want to make sure that the commissioner, working closely with their colleagues, delivers them on time, accurate, and with speedy customer service to resolve any errors. And my colleagues on the Finance Committee know from our hearings that unfortunately that hadn't always been the case. There have been way too many instances of overpayments and clawbacks, customer service shortfalls, technology woes, other problems that make it harder for Americans to get their earned benefits. Now, throughout his nomination, Martin O'Malley has made it clear that his number one priority, his priority above all else, will be improving customer service. He said, and we asked him repeatedly, what his thoughts were on our view, which is this position is not about politics, it's about service. And Martin O'Malley made it clear that would be his agenda, and he talked about his record of modernization and improving transparency in his previous position helping Marylanders get the services they count on. I believe, and I say to the Senate, and we have Senator Cardin here who's known the nominee for decades, that Martin O'Malley understands that there is no Republican or no Democratic way to make sure that we deal with these overpayments. We've got to get this fixed. And the fact of the matter is, we said in the Senate Finance Committee, and I've talked with Senator Crapo, the ranking member, about it, we are going to insist that Martin O'Malley, who I believe will be confirmed, will brief us every month, every single month, until this gets fixed. And we heard from Senator Cardin and Senator Mikulski, our former colleague, that that kind of accountability is in Martin O'Malley's DNA. Martin O'Malley's leadership is going to be needed in the days ahead. All those Americans who paid into Social Security, they want to know without any ifs, ands, buts, that these issues of clawbacks and delayed service are going to be fixed. And if you get a letter from Social Security, as we heard about in our committee, all three of my colleagues there, you get a letter from Social Security saying you owe tens of thousands of dollars through no fault of your own. That's life-altering, and it's wrong. Those mistaken overpayments can be the difference between paying for groceries, having electricity during this cold weather, paying for, essentials. And we've got to get this fixed. As I said at the Senate Finance Committee's bipartisan vote supporting Martin O'Malley, I made it clear, having had the honor to serve on this committee for a number of years, like my colleagues, that this program, which is as important as any for millions of Americans, deserves to be one that delivers to the American people without a lot of the problems with service and clawbacks and delays that we were told about in our hearings. I believe Martin O'Malley will deliver that. I believe he's the right person for the job at the right time. We're going to vote in about 10 minutes or thereabouts. I urge all my colleagues to support him as well. And with that, Madam President, I yield the floor.